Why is calculating plate appearances tricky in baseball? Imagine trying to count every time a batter steps into the box, but some of those times don't quite fit the usual mold. That's what makes calculating plate appearances in baseball a bit complicated. Every time a player comes up to bat and completes a turn, it counts as a plate appearance. But not all plate appearances are created equal. Some end with a hit, some with a walk, and others with a strikeout or a sacrifice bunt. The tricky part is that certain outcomes, like walks or being hit by a pitch, count as a plate appearance but don't count as an at-bat. This distinction is important because it affects how we measure a player's performance. Traditional batting stats like batting average only consider hits divided by at-bats. But if we want to see how often a player gets on base or handles different situations, we look at plate appearances. For example, a player who walks a lot will have more plate appearances than at-bats, which can make their batting average seem lower even if they are good at reaching base. Calculating plate appearances requires careful tracking of every outcome during a game. You need to know if a batter walked, was hit by a pitch, struck out, or sacrificed. Each of these outcomes impacts the total count differently. For instance, a sacrifice fly or bunt does not count as a hit or an at-bat but still adds to the plate appearances. Because of this, the process involves paying close attention to every detail during the game. Another challenge is that different sources or record keepers might count outcomes slightly differently. Some might include certain types of sacrifices or exclude others. This inconsistency can make comparing players tricky, especially across different eras or leagues. In the end, understanding how to count plate appearances accurately helps us get a clearer picture of a player's overall offensive contribution. It's a foundational part of baseball statistics that influences many metrics used to evaluate players today. Without careful calculation, we might miss important parts of a player's game or misjudge their performance. That's why it's so essential to pay attention to every outcome and keep precise records.